In our last session, we read a letter from a mother who was concerned that her son was hating school because his teacher was picking on him. I suggested that she help her son see his teacher as a human being, reacting to emptiness and fear, much as he does on occasion with his brother or with others. Now, back to the writer of the letter. Help Mark understand that his teacher just doesn't feel loved and happy. And in that condition, she reaches out for whatever will make her feel better. When she gets angry at her students and picks on them, she gets a feeling of importance and power. When she controls people, she also feels more worthwhile and safer. Explain to Mark that she's just drowning. And in the process, she splashes the people around her, in this case, Mark and the other students. As Mark describes some examples of her behavior, help him practice seeing her as a drowning person, as someone in great need, rather than as a monster. Explain that most adults are just small children emotionally, and that he needs to not expect her to treat him in a loving or mature way. As you explain all this, it's critical that Mark see how calm and loving you are. If you are the slightest bit critical or irritated, he'll feel it, and he will not be able to see her in a loving way. Teach him how to respond to her when she's unkind. Role play a situation for him. It'll help him a lot. Ask him, for example, to imagine that he's just given an incorrect answer in class, for example, and she has said in a harsh tone, "How many times have I explained that to you?" Then teach Mark what he could say in return. First, he must recognize that she's not attacking him to be mean, just to get a sense of power, to get a relief from her chronic sense of helplessness. Then Mark could say something like, "Mrs. Jones, I'm sorry I don't remember what you said. I probably wasn't paying attention. Could you teach me that again? And I'll try to listen better." Now, I recognize this is pretty deep stuff for an 8-year-old, but I can also tell you he really is capable of understanding it. Additionally, you could call the teacher or go to the school and ask what you could do to help Mark in her class. Not to change the teacher, but to help Mark. Perhaps you could check up on homework assignments or review what he's learning from a particular book. You might already be doing this, but your call will serve to make the teacher see Mark in a more personal way, less as an object that she can use to feel powerful. Tell her never to hesitate before calling you about any problem with Mark. The more she sees him as a person, the less likely it will be that she'll use him as an object to satisfy her needs. As you're doing all this, remember that your role is to teach Mark and love him, not to rescue him from her. If you fly down there to school on your white horse in an effort to change his teacher, you will lose. The teacher will fight you with all her energy, which in turn she'll take out on Mark, and Mark will get the impression that he has to be saved from his troubles. Everybody will lose with that approach. By teaching him and loving him, however, you'll be giving him skills that will bring a healthy kind of power that he'll enjoy all his life.